All right, buckle up for this one.
Oh, yeah.
We're diving deep into Metroid Dread.
Uh-huh.
Specifically, Dread mode.
Sounds intense.
It is, and we're not just watching any playthrough.
No.
This is YouTuber Loyal Imperial attempting a deathless run.
Deathless.
Wow.
No dying at all.
That's hardcore even for Metroid.
For any game, really, but especially Metroid Dread.
I mean, Dread mode is known for being brutal.
Yeah, remind me, what makes it so much harder than the regular difficulty?
Think of it like every enemy hits way harder.
Okay.
Every trap, you make one mistake and...
You're toast.
yeah, game over.
So it's not even just about surviving, it's about playing perfect.
You got it. Perfect execution, every single move.
And this is Metroid Dread we're talking about.
Yeah.
The level design is already intricate.
Absolutely.
Those boss fights are insane, even on normal difficulty.
So going deathless.
It blows my mind just thinking about it.
It takes a crazy amount of skill, no doubt.
And knowledge of the game.
Oh, yeah, intimate knowledge of the game. But also, I think people forget the mental stamina
Oh, huge factor.
to keep going, knowing one slip-up ends it all.
The pressure must be immense.
You can really see it in Loyal Imperial's run.
How so?
There's this one moment early on, he barely escapes an EMMI.
Oh, those things are terrifying.
And you can hear the relief in his voice.
Like just a huge sigh of relief.
Makes you realize even the best players,
The human.
they feel that pressure, just like the rest of us.
Totally. We think of speedrunners as these machines,
Right, almost robotic in their precision.
but they have those same feelings, that fear of failure.
What sets them apart, I guess, is how they handle it.
Channeling that into focus.
So let's get into some of the specifics of the run.
All right, let's break it down.
One thing that really stood out to me, the way Loyal Imperial uses the flash shift.
Flash shift. Yeah, that's a tricky move.
Super fast dash, right?
Right, most people use it defensively.
Like an escape.
Exactly. Get out of trouble.
But he's using it offensively, too.
Yeah.
Weaving it into combos, closing distances instantly.
Like he's turning defense into offense.
It's wild. He's playing on a whole other level.
It's like watching a pro athlete, moves you can't even comprehend.
And then there's the sequence breaking.
Ah, sequence breaking classic speedrunning stuff.
Getting items out of order, skipping whole sections of the game.
I gotta admit, that part went over my head a little.
Okay.
Think of it like finding shortcuts in a maze.
Okay, sure.
You're exploiting glitches, unconventional paths,
So you're getting places you're not supposed to be yet.
or getting items early, yeah.
So give me an example. What's a sequence break that really makes a difference in his run?
Early on, there's this notoriously tough section.
Which one?
Most players would struggle just to survive it.
Let alone do it perfectly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Loyal Imperial gets the morph ball way earlier than you're supposed to.
The morph ball. That early.
And it lets him bypass that whole section completely.
Saves a ton of time.
And potential for death.
Hold on, how is that even possible, the morph ball that early?
It's insane. A series of precise jumps and wall clings,
Like pixel-perfect stuff.
exploiting a quirk in the physics.
High risk, high reward.
And he nails it. That's the level of game knowledge we're talking about.
That's incredible. It's like he's playing 4D chess.
While we're stuck playing checkers.
And it's not just the technical skill. His understanding of the game's mechanics is insane.
He's not just button mashing. He's thinking, strategizing,
Like he's manipulating the enemies, using their attacks against them.
predicting their movements.
It's like he can see into the future.
Yeah, almost like precognition.
Like that part with the Chozo soldier, most people just unload everything they got.
Hope for the best.
But Loyal Imperial lands every headshot, takes it down in seconds.
Those headshots aren't just for show.
There's a strategy there.
Exploiting a weakness, dealing more damage, staggering it.
So it can't even fight back.
That's the kind of detail that separates the good players from the greats.
And it's not just combat, even the way he uses items.
Like bombs and missiles.
Not just for fighting, but for movement, too.
It's like he sees possibilities that most of us wouldn't even notice.
It's mind-blowing, honestly.
It really is like he's having a conversation with the game itself.
Pushing its boundaries, finding those hidden depths.
I never thought about it that way, but it's true.
He's not just playing Metroid Dread.
He's mastered it.
Which makes you wonder, what would be the biggest hurdle for someone trying to do this?
I think for a lot of people, it wouldn't be any one boss or technique.
It'd be the mental game.
The pressure of that deathless run.
Knowing that one mistake ends it.
That could be paralyzing.
Absolutely. The stakes are so high.
The margin for error is so small.
It makes you appreciate Loyal Imperial's composure even more.
Yeah, he's not just skilled, he's mentally unbreakable.
That's a great point. Something to keep in mind as we go deeper into this run.
It's not just about the game. It's about the player's mindset.
their ability to control their emotions.
Perform under pressure.
I'm already hooked. But before we move on, I gotta bring up that part where he polls his viewers.
Oh, yeah, full run or segments.
That interaction, that connection with the community.
Adds a whole other layer to this.
It's not just a solo endeavor.
He's involving the audience, making them part of the journey,
It's like we're all in this together.
experiencing the highs and lows.
The tension, the triumphs,
It's more than just a speed run, it's a story.
unfolding in real time.
And I can't wait to see what happens next.
Me neither.
It's funny, when you think about skill in gaming,
Yeah.
we usually think reflexes.
Hand-eye coordination, that sort of thing.
But with Loyal Imperial, strategy is huge.
Oh, for sure. Like we were saying, the flash shift.
The sequence breaking.
It's all about planning, knowing the game inside and out,
He's not just reacting, he's in control.
dictating the pace.
Like when he gets the space jump.
Oh yeah, way later in the game for most people.
Remember that crazy wall jump to get it early?
I tried that, failed miserably.
It's so precise, you need to know the physics perfectly.
But the payoff is huge, right?
Huge. He gets access to areas that should be impossible.
At that point in the game.
Bypasses a whole section, full of enemies, hazards.
So it's not just time he's saving, it's potential deaths too.
Exactly, a game changer.
It's like turning a marathon into a sprint.
And that's where the mental side comes in again.
Because he's not just making these decisions, he's doing it under pressure.
Immense pressure.
It's like juggling chainsaws on a tightrope.
One slip, and it's over.
I couldn't handle that.
There's this one part, Kataris, he's being chased by the EMMI.
Oh, those things are terrifying.
Insta-kill, right.
Nightmare.
He's dodging lasers, weaving through corridors,
Looks like he's trapped.
but the last second, he spots this tiny opening,
A passage I never would have seen.
slips through it.
Pure brilliance.
You know, some people might think he had that planned.
Like, it was all part of the strategy.
Speedrunning isn't like that.
There's gotta be improvisation.
You have to adapt, think on your feet.
Find solutions in the moment.
Like we said, having that conversation with the game,
He's pushing the limits, looking for those hidden paths.
and the game responds.
A dance between player and system.
Skill, knowledge, and a bit of luck.
Speaking of luck, there were some close calls.
Oh yeah, like when
With Urania section, he almost gets hit by a missile.
my heart skipped a beat.
It shows how delicate this whole thing is.
One mistake.
No matter how good you are.
There's always chance involved.
But then, the triumphs are even sweeter.
When he beat Kraid, the relief.
The joy, it was like he'd climbed a mountain.
Those are the moments that make this so compelling.
It's not just gameplay, it's human emotion.
Pushing limits, experiencing it all.
It's easy to dismiss speedrunning, you know?
Like it's just tricks and exploits.
But there's so much more to it.
It's mastery, understanding the game on a deep level.
Almost like understanding its soul.
Makes you appreciate the artistry.
There's this moment, Arteria region,
Beautiful area.
the light, the music, it's atmospheric.
Most speedrunners would just rush through,
But he stops, takes it in.
appreciating the beauty.
Even in the middle of this intense challenge.
Like he's saying, I'm here to win, but also to enjoy.
It's a different perspective.
So refreshing.
Games can be more than just skill.
It can be art.
He's inviting us to slow down, pay attention.
See the game world in a new way.
That's the gift of a deep dive, right?
Shifting our perspective.
Understanding what's possible.
Seeing the familiar, but differently.
Discovering the hidden depths.
Loyal Imperial's playthrough is perfect for that.
You know, we focused a lot on the technical side,
The sequence breaks, the strategies.
but there's something else here.
What's that?
The narrative, the story that's unfolding.
Not just in the game, but in his journey through it.
He's a character in this epic.
That's often forgotten with speedrunning.
It's not just the goal, it's the journey.
The struggles, the
Of
triumph,
watching a hero's tale.
facing challenges, overcoming, and we're right there with him.
It's powerful, even in a digital world.
Human stories connect,
We connect with him not just because he's skilled.
but because he's vulnerable, determined.
It's like we're all part of this grand adventure.
More excitement, the tension.
It's more than a speed run, it's a story.
A story of the human spirit.
Pushing boundaries, achieving the impossible.
And Loyal Imperial is the perfect example.
I feel like we could talk about this forever,
We could.
but I'm eager to hear your final thoughts.
Let's wrap things up and get to those conclusions.
So we've really dug into Loyal Imperial's Metroid Dread run.
We have covered a lot of ground.
Flash shifts, sequence breaking.
Yeah.
It's been a masterclass.
Absolutely. A masterclass in Metroid Dread.
But as we wrap up,
Yeah.
what are some of the big takeaways for you?
You know, it goes beyond just the technical skill.
Right.
It's his dedication to understanding the game, the why behind it all.
Like, not just memorizing patterns,
No, dissecting them.
figuring out the logic, the developer's intention.
He's having a conversation with the game's code.
That's a great way to put it.
And that level of engagement, that's what lets him see those creative solutions.
It's what makes watching him so different.
Different from what?
Like a regular Let's Play.
Ah, I see.
It's not just entertainment, you're learning too.
You're seeing the game through
Yeah.
his eyes.
A completely new perspective.
And it reminds us, mastery isn't just about reflexes.
It's the mental game.
Staying calm under pressure, adapting.
That's the difference between good and great. So, for someone like me who enjoys games,
Yeah.
but nowhere near this level,
Mm-hmm.
what's the big takeaway? What can we learn from Loyal Imperial?
It's about the mindset.
Okay, the mindset.
It's easy to think, I could never do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the principles apply to anything, any skill.
So it's not about becoming a speedrunner.
No.
It's about that process, deliberate practice, mastering something you love.
Finding joy in the challenge, pushing yourself.
And Loyal Imperial didn't start out a master.
Nobody does.
He got there through dedication, practice.
And failing, learning from those failures.
It's pretty inspiring. Shows
Okay.
anyone can achieve that level of expertise.
If you're willing to put in the work.
And we can't forget the community aspect.
Oh, absolutely.
The way he interacts with viewers.
It's more than just entertainment.
It's a shared experience.
We're all on this journey together.
Pushing the limits of Metroid Dread.
That feeling of connection. It's powerful.
We all crave that. Gamers, artists, everyone. It's funny, we started talking about a deathless run.
Yeah, this incredible feat.
But we've ended up talking about something much bigger.
What's that?
Mastery, the human spirit, the drive to explore, to learn.
And that's the beauty of a deep dive.
Right. It's not just the topic, it's the unexpected connections.
The insights that come from really digging deep.
Seeing the world differently, learning about ourselves.
So to anyone listening,
Yeah,
don't be afraid to dive deep.
you never know what you might find.
Couldn't agree more. That pursuit of knowledge, the joy of discovery.
That's what makes it all worthwhile.
Beautifully said.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up.
Time to wrap it up.
Huge thanks to our expert for guiding us through this.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners.
Yeah, to the listener.
Keep exploring, keep pushing those boundaries.
And as always,
Game on!